G'day everybody, welcome back to Enshrouded. Blue here in Wistful Fields, our new home. Though we haven't exactly fully moved yet, we're still in the middle of construction obviously. So the previous episode we spent quite a lot of time trying to construct the little house which is going to be occupied by the hunter and the farmer. We're also doing sort of a triple story home, technically. It looks like a single story at the moment, but we've got a room down beneath the ground level one. And yeah, as I said in the previous episode, I took the liberty to actually fix up what we were doing down below, so things are looking really nice. Staircase is looking pretty good as well, and yeah, we're sort of going to continue where we left off and build the second story up above. So the first thing that we probably want to focus on is just getting the staircase completed correctly, and I sort of want to just replicate what we've got going with this staircase, but just directly above us. So just looking at what we need to do here, it looks like there's well, we're using refined wood blocks for these, so we're going to do the same for the staircase above it. So how many blocks is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then times 2. So we'll do that first. So 1, 2, so from here I think. Is that right? Or is it? No, I think this is correct. Yeah, from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll replicate that on this side as well. And yeah, I also have done quite a bit of work sourcing some more materials for some of the blocks that we're about to hopefully use. Oh, sorry guys, that is actually incorrect. Let me just fix that up, because it does need to start to elevate, obviously, so so that's not exactly what we want. We want to go from there, and another 5 blocks there. Cool, and I think from here we can then switch to, I would say maybe the 2x2, and then we go and place a piece right there. I think that's correct. Let me just try that again. Okay, I mean, close, but we do need a little bit more behind it, and I might actually refine things here just by using the single blocks, just so that we get it right. Brilliant. Okay, cool. Now to go over this way. So let's go back to the stairwell, and we'll be able to use at least a little bit of this. Yeah, I mean, I'll be able to do something like that, and then just add a tiny bit extra to the side, like that. And then we should add a little bit more to that further upwards. Like so. Alright, that's looking really good. Now, from a lot of the build videos that I've seen, a lot of people add like an accent to the sides of their stairs, and I'm not entirely sure if I am going to do that. We might actually, and if we do, we'll just use the single blocks and we'll just sort of refine what we do. I'm not entirely sure if we achieved the right thing here. Let me just have a look at what's going on down below. Okay, right. Right. Okay, not quite. Let me undo stuff. And I just want to undo stuff very carefully because, as per the previous episode, I have been experiencing situations where our materials disappear when we're using the undo function, so we just don't want to have a repeat of that, or at least reduce the amount of times that that happens. Okay, that's looking good, and probably just want a little bit more, like so. Brilliant. Okay, that's much better. And, you know, every time we sort of go down these stairs, it doesn't feel like we're going to hit our heads on the staircase above us, like we were going to before. So, this is looking good. Now we just need to sort of think about how we're going to address the flooring of the second story. And I'm, yeah, sort of unsure of this. I could potentially use the fancy city blocks, or sorry, not city blocks, the fancy walls. So let me go back to that material. Fancy stone blocks, rather. And we could have a play around with it and just see what it looks like initially. Because we've already got a little bit of that aesthetic going on the sides. I forget that we have a double jump and we should be able to get around pretty easily, but yeah, okay, that doesn't look too bad, although despite this being like a fancy stone block, I feel like the floor version looks very messy for some reason. It doesn't look as nice. So I might want to use something else, but because this is the second floor, it shouldn't really be stone, in my opinion. So if we go with the refined wood blocks though, the problem with that is that it might not look very nice against the staircase that we've got. It doesn't make the staircase pop, if you know what I mean. But it most certainly looks nicer. Do we have any other type of wooden material? I mean, we've got rough wood blocks, which might do the trick. But again, it seems very rough, doesn't it? So I know for the walls, I want to use the half-timbered blocks. Perhaps maybe it might not be a bad idea to use half-timbered blocks for the flooring. So just gonna give that a go and see what it looks like. Okay. It's not a bad look, is it? It feels tidier than some of the other styles that we've seen. Okay. Let me continue along with using this material. Sorry guys. Just trying to think of whether or not I want to go like even one tile up, because I do sort of want the space on the second floor to be a little bit bigger. You'll see what I mean a little bit later, but let me go back to the refined wood blocks, and I'm just going to add one more step. Great. Oh, hang on. No, that's not what we want. I need that to sort of go... Okay. It's actually a little bit difficult when you're using the single blocks here. I'm just gonna switch back to the staircase style and do that. That should, at the very least... Oh. Undo that. Give us a good starting point. And now we should be able to just add the one block there. Okay, good. Now from here, the idea is we want to use the city... sorry, not the city wall blocks. The half-timbered blocks. And then we use that as a floor. And yeah, I sort of want to have it jut out a little bit, like so. And you can see what I mean by having a little bit of extra room. So it'll be actually a little bit wider up here. Ever so slightly, you know? So we'll probably need to fix this side up manually, but that's okay. We'll come back to that. Brilliant. Okay. And yeah, this side as well. So what I might do here is I'll actually switch to the 2x2 just for a little bit of extra accuracy. And we can do something like that. And next is going to be actually using these for the walls as well. But while I'm doing this, guys, I'll also just mention that in the previous episode, obviously, I did decide on speeding up some of the footage, where I thought it was, you know, kind of a little bit boring. I hope you guys didn't mind that too much. Normally, I don't really like to, I guess, remove footage or speed things up too much, just to give you a decent idea of what the game's like. And, you know, obviously there's a little bit of grind, just a tad. That's the nature of the game, you know. But I might actually continue on that style of video, guys, because I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more interesting, content-wise. And I don't really want to be wasting your time too much, so we'll go with that. But if you have an opinion on how we should proceed, whether or not we should be, you know, skipping things and speeding things up a little bit here and there, let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll adjust appropriately. For now, that's sort of the way I'm approaching things. Okay guys, so we are done with putting in the flooring for the second story, and things are looking really nice actually, and you'll notice how the game sort of, you know, thanks to the use of different materials and stuff, has sort of given us this really interesting aesthetic, sort of halfway up, and that's exactly why I wanted to sort of give me a little bit of extra room at the top as well, because it sort of creates this really nice effect. And yeah, it's quite effortless as well, so I'm quite happy that the game actually does that for us. So next up we're going to put in these walls, but it is sort of getting a little bit dark. Let me have a look. We have some half-timbered blocks, but not a lot. We probably should go back and fetch some half-timbered blocks right away, so let's go ahead and do that. I might do a few other bits and pieces as well while we're at it. So for example, grabbing some water. There's a little bit of wood there that I can also just quickly gather up. And what I have been doing on sessions where I've been sort of just doing some of the grind between episodes, I have also been gathering up a lot of honey and a lot of wax and stuff, because this starting location that the game sort of points us to, where we've ended up creating our little village, there's actually quite a few you know, beehives and stuff nearby. So for example, just right here, there's one beehive. So I'll quickly grab that. And there's more. I think like at least 3 more or so, or maybe 2 more around this side. And yeah, it's nice because I guess every time you load into the game, things reset, so you're able to just gather up all these things again. It pays to sort of remember where some of these things are located. Yeah, I sort of was contemplating whether or not I wanted to not max out the flame altar at Wistful Fields. Just for the sake of being able to continually gather things like honey and stuff. Because there is actually a few beehives in the area, but as I've shown you in the previous episode, we ended up sort of gathering all of that and sort of, you know, getting rid of them. And they're not going to respawn, unfortunately, but, you know, it is what it is. I'd prefer actually having a bit more build space. We can always get the honey and wax from other places. Right, so half timbered blocks. We need more lumps of clay, apparently. So I'm not entirely sure if we have much. Let me have a look. Okay, we do have a little bit, but we're going to have to source some more. Again, could be a thing that I sort of do between episodes. I'm gonna grab this wood acid, and I do want to just chuck some wood acid in here. So we do need some wood acid for antiseptic, although aloe is something that we're not able to grow just yet. So I think maybe if anything we'll just continue to make alchemical base for now, and we'll have to sort of wait until we find nitrate, I think, is the missing ingredient for trying to grow some aloe. Right. So hopefully we've got enough for a little bit here. Lumps of clay, we need 10. And we need wood logs as well. Right. Well, there goes all of our lumps of clay. We might not have enough to finish the construction, and I might end up having to pivot to some other activities in this episode, but we'll see how we go. Otherwise, perhaps maybe another thing that we could do is we could start construction on either our own home, because, you know, that little hut that is there, that is essentially our home. Obviously a lot of repairing needs to be done before we'll actually move into it. But yeah, then there's the matter of obviously clearing off everything here, and actually getting rid of the flame altar at some point, but I won't do that until we're really, really ready to go. And everyone else would have probably moved to the new site before we do. Luckily, lumps of clay shouldn't really be too difficult to find. We can go to the Revel Wood, find plenty of clay there. This place is getting very dark now that it's all fully enclosed, so getting some lighting in here might be a good thing early on. But anyway, let's focus back up and let's see what we can do with getting some nice walls in. Okay, so just testing things out and having a look at what we're able to achieve. I also need to plan for where we're going to keep the windows. Need a little bit of natural sunlight in here. Alright, actually that doesn't look too bad, though maybe I even want like a third window. I guess I could make holes into the wall and actually make it that way, but maybe I don't want to rush into putting in windows too much, because I could end up having to move those windows anyway. But yeah, I could simply just make a hole here if I wanted to. Okay guys, so we have run out of half-timbered blocks. So I'm gonna need to source some more materials for that. It's a bit painful, but anyway, that's fine. Also going to want to have a think about how the roof is going to sit on top of this thing, and another thing is, with the space underneath, I did mention about having some kind of a pathway out for the hunter, and I was sort of thinking of maybe making like some kind of a secret passageway that sort of exits out of this sort of hill area here, out this way potentially. So we'll see how we go on that front. Again, I know it's, you know, getting a little bit ambitious. And I'm also having a think about whether or not I want to actually expand the, let's call it the cellar, shall we? Or the underground section. Because, yeah, there's not a lot of space in this little home. So perhaps maybe what we could do is we could extend the floor that looks like the foundation at the moment, but we'll extend it out this way by a few more blocks, and that way we can sort of have a bit of a porch area over on this side on the ground level as well, and a little bit of, you know, extra space down here won't hurt. So yeah, that's the idea anyway. But yeah, I'm sort of having a think of what I want to do here if we can't continue building, and whether or not perhaps maybe we can hit up some of these question marks that are easily accessible. And I think that's probably a good idea. So why don't we go here? So I have no idea what's there, but we can investigate. I don't think it's going to be too hard. We'll hit up a few question marks as we go along. I want to try and be prepared, so let's maybe consume a little bit. I don't want to have any of my hazelnuts because hazelnuts are a little bit harder to come by. But I will use maybe our, what is that? Veggie puree. Delicious. Okay, so it's over this side. Okay, and it's near Willow Crush, and interestingly, I think Willow Crush was one of the locations that I thought I could reside in, but I decided against it. I decided just to go with Wistful Fields because, yeah, Wistful Fields was going to give us a much nicer view from a very high vantage point. I really liked that idea. Yeah, coming across clay, hard to ignore it. I'll need some lumber as well, which means that we might end up like cutting down a few trees here and there. Okay, it'd help if I actually had some stamina on me. Okay, let's head this way. I do need to keep an eye out on the actual hazelnut trees here. This is a hazelnut tree, right? Yeah, I just gathered it. Ooh, here we go. It's a nice flame sanctum, which we have yet to discover, so we'll take that. We'll take the sparks. Take all of the loot as well. It crawls beneath my flesh, I feel its teeth in my flesh evermore. The first bite was but a bitter prelude to the many more that followed. I fear my time is near, my muscles tighten, my skin stretches, I can see them under candlelight, eagerly pursuing outward. The catacomb has cursed me, for the hollow of my ribcage is home to 1,000 gnawing bites. Ugh. Disgusting. But that sort of sounds familiar. I feel like we may have read that before. Potentially. Are we even at the location? No. Okay. I thought we had already arrived. Are we going to even be able to access this location from here? A very, very valid question. Perhaps maybe the flight I should have taken maybe should have gotten us here at the very, very edge of Willow Crush. Maybe we'll have a chance over this side. I mean, one way we could try and get there is if we could actually, like, dig our way up there. Maybe. Or maybe not. Let me go back and retry the glide. And perhaps maybe this time, if I sort of glide in a straight line, that might actually help. And perhaps maybe we glide from this side. That will help as well. Yeah, somewhere there. Otherwise, we might actually have to take that bridge over there. But I mean, we've got some clay. So alternatively, we could essentially go home with the clay that we've found. Okay, we sort of ended up roughly in the same spot, but hang on. We might be able to get there. Backpack is full. What do we don't need? Maybe some of that. And these berries we can get rid of as well. And that is a lot of hazelnuts. I'll actually mark this location because if we know where it is, we may as well come back for it. Okay, still a little further up apparently. It does say location below, though. Interestingly, when I approach this thing. Okay. Ancient Vault of the Farmer. Yeah, I definitely think we need to cross. There's probably a bridge somewhere there. Alright, tell you what guys, I'm gonna go back and make the walls, because we've got the clay now. I just need a little bit of extra wood. I'm just having a look at how much clay we have. Not that much. So I'm still going to need to find some more clay anyway. I guess this is not a bad start. Okay, let me make as much as I can with what we have. Okay, that was probably a decent amount. But I do have a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm carrying around. These bone blocks I could probably just return to storage because I'm probably never going to use them. But yeah, I do have a few other things. Which I do want to store. So I do want to keep dirt. Dirt is sort of important because I could essentially use dirt in a lot of the building process. So don't want to get rid of dirt. Extra hazelnuts. Got the bronze bar. I suppose I do need some bronze bars in storage rather than in here. I'll chuck that in there. We need a little bit more charcoal, which we don't really have. I suppose I do need my lumps of clay at the moment. Glow dust. Glow dust, I think. Is that something that we can make from here? No. Ooh, we can make flour. Interesting, which would suggest that we would be able to make, like, bread. We'll come back to that because I'm not really doing any farming right now. But yeah, I'm gonna try to cross that bridge, but before we do that, I'm gonna actually head here and head for another question mark that should be nearby. Hopefully it'll be a bit easier to try and get to. So waypoint, apparently there's a journal entry for this. Oh, it's one of those obelisks. Okay. We'll hit up an obelisk location. Do I want more hazelnuts? I guess I could, but might be a little bit too excessive if we have so much. This might be amber? No, clay. Well, I won't say no. And this is a proper mine, right? Which means that this would give us heaps. Might actually put a marker here. I can't actually do that while the question mark is still active. I might actually just hit this place first. And once it's gone, we should be able to come back to placing down that marker. Yeah, there's even more over here. Yeah, Revelwood is really, really good for finding some clay, if you're in need of clay. Chasms which split the earth, nestled within the Starfall Kingdom. A chasm so deep, its contents have eluded us for millennia. No secret can resist illumination by light of the eternal flame, an archaic evil, brewing, growing. It must be buried, flooded, and sealed. Humanity should never brush against these tendrils of pandemonium. I'm probably referring to the shroud and the elixir. Right, anything worthwhile here? Oh, here's a letter. Progress, also headaches. After weeks of in-depth study, I've found parallels between the simplified ancient phonetic characters to the historic origins of phonemic human writing. I theorize that the modern alphabetical system may be derivative of ancient syllabary. Sadly, the investigation could not continue due to a deathly and strange odor emitted by a nearby opening. It has clouded the minds of my researchers and caused everyone headaches, just like the ancient writing, but worse. Why did the ancients not simply create a traditional alphabet instead of relying on multiple unique, overly complex symbols for every single syllable? Pictograms would have done the job too. Lorraine Krim. Okay, there you go. So, I'm a little bit confused as to the age when the actual shroud took over. The reason why I say that is because it seems like a lot of people were trying to decipher a lot of secrets from the ancients, but the intro cinematic almost seemed to suggest that the ancients and the humans were sort of living side by side for a period of time. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. I'm not really in it for the lore. I'm in it for just the adventuring and the building. So I do get pretty addicted to the building. So from here, I think we should be able to hopefully get to that bridge and cross. So let's just tag where we need to go. Willow Crush is good enough. There is lava down there, so I probably want to be a little bit careful about it. Okay, that's not the way. And there are probably like scavengers about. There we go. There's something glowing down there. Maybe a treasure chest. Do I care? Can't seem to throw this bomb where I want to throw it. Let me get rid of this guy. Alright. Now. Yes. What's going on here? Ring of Rapacity. Check that out in a moment. Where are we? Okay, we're almost there. It's just down here. Now, let's tag this. Okay. It does say the location is below us. There must be some kind of opening somewhere, maybe? Question is where? I don't want to jump down in fear of not being able to get back up again, though. Seems to be a lot of these guys out here. Yeah, okay, location below. But how do we reach this location, though? There's no journal entry for it either. I'm sort of hoping that if we follow the road, we might actually reach our destination somewhat. Again. Oh. Here we are. Yeah, okay. I knew there was going to be some kind of a cave entrance. So, finally, I guess more shroud. Maybe a shroud route. That's my guess. Oftentimes, we've been to places where it was just like question marks. And generally, they've been hidden away shroud routes. Maybe further down. Oh, okay, that was not great. Let me heal up. Or do I want to be cheap? I'll heal up. So I might regret it if I do die down here. Okay. This is starting to feel a little bit familiar. I feel like we have been here before. But I probably didn't sort of continue exploring. Yeah, okay. I see. And then there's a shroud route there. We also potentially had like deadly shroud way back when I visited this place for the first time, so there we go. Shroud route dealt with. Any treasures back here? I mean, it's kind of questionable as to whether or not, you know, things will be worthwhile down in these starting type dungeons. Minus 40 mana, but plus 3 mana regeneration. Okay. It's an interesting trade-off, but doesn't really matter for us, I guess. Okay, so I think we should be able to make our way back. We've got a little bit of extra clay, don't we? Okay, I didn't end up gathering that much clay. But if we do want to, we can actually go back for it. Up this way, right? So I will actually do that because I need heaps of clay at the moment. And yeah, we've gone ahead and cleared out a couple of question marks. I'm pretty happy with that. Probably go back to a little bit of building. So I think this is the location. Luckily we've got a little bit of illumination going on here. Should help us see what we're doing. So one thing that I do want to try and gather a little bit more of is dirt, and I'm still unclear about how I go about getting dirt specifically. It feels like dirt is only available if you sort of gather up and mine like the topsoil, like here for example. Yeah, that gives you dirt, but then anything underneath that is just stone. And it depending on the biome, so for example if you're in the highlands, instead of stone you will get limestone. So yeah, it's sort of an interesting mechanic if you ask me. I don't know if I'm going about it the right way, and that is essentially where we get dirt from, or if I should be doing anything else. But if you guys are in the know, let me know, and I'll gather dirt the right way. Alright, I think we've gathered a decent number of clay here. Or a decent amount of clay, shall I say. Might need more wood, but anyway, let's make more of the half-timbered blocks right now. Who knows, we could be going overboard at this point. But yeah, I mean that should satisfy at the very least the little home that we're trying to build for the farmer and the trapper. No, the hunter. Okay, so should be morning soon. Let's get ourselves out there. I'm gonna need to resupply and, you know, just like get a whole bunch of stuff like bandages and stuff going for more adventuring. Again, could be a thing that I decide to do between episodes, but anyway. Yeah, it is coming along, isn't it? One thing that I was sort of thinking is whether or not I want like a bigger window over on this side, because that's the side that gives us like the nice view out there. Arguably, I mean, there's a nice view out there that way as well, but still. Okay, so I might sort of deal with more windows and stuff a little bit later. In hindsight, I'm thinking this tree's gotta go. We might be able to just replant the tree somewhere a little bit later, but it has to go because a lot of the leaves are actually starting to poke into the house, and that's exactly not what we want, so got rid of that, and yeah, perhaps maybe the next step is just extending the side over here, down this way. So let's go back to the floor and foundation that we're using. So it was a city wall block that we're using for the floors. I'm just gonna see if I can use snapping. Yep, that's perfect. Okay, guys. I think things are looking really, really good for the lower section of the home. So we've widened things a little bit more, and I'm really liking where things are going. I'm not entirely sure about the stairwell now, and whether or not we should sort of pivot the stairwell to sort of point down this way instead of that way. It could make sense. That way, you know, we've got a little bit more space to work with around here. So I could end up sort of moving that. But yeah, from here, I think we're going to have to then sort of start sorting out what to do with the roof. And arguably, the roofs in this game might be the most difficult thing to try and build and get right. But yeah, we'll definitely cross that bridge in the next one. I'm not entirely sure if I have all of the right blocks that I want for roofs. Plus I also need to experiment with the types of roofs that I want as well. Likely it's going to be the roof tiles, because I think those are the ones that look the nicest. Although the tarred shingle roof blocks might not be that bad either. So yeah, we'll look into it. And yeah, I'll try and maybe gather up some materials and stuff like that in between episodes. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Again, I did end up sort of speeding up some of the footage there in this one, but I think that was definitely necessary. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did. Otherwise, stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one.